welcome back to the Horse Racing Network, where we're going to be taking a look at day 2 of the Punchestown Festival. I am joined by horse racing broadcaster and journalist Paul Alster. Paul, how are you feeling about day 2?
I'm looking forward to it. We've got a couple of outstanding races to look forward to.
We'll get straight into looking at the races here today. Then we've got 2 grade ones we're going to take a look at, and the first is the 4:15, which is a novice hurdle. In here, top of the market, we've got the double green again for Willie Mullins, and that's Jasmine DeVoe. You've also got Honesty Policy for Gordon Elliott. They're a runner for JP McManus with Mark Walsh on board. Card Counter, Familiar Dreams, Jarive Demi, Argento Boy, I always say Argento Bay, Argento Boy, Fleur in the Park, and Luck in the City. So quite a small field, but I thought an interesting race. The runner I'm probably most interested in, Paul, is Jasmine DeVoe, because it's a horse that I've always been thinking could maybe do more, and then didn't quite live up to kind of what we all wanted at the Punchestown Festival. Leopardstown Festival, shall I say, the Dublin Racing Festival, and then come firing back at Cheltenham. So can be a bit hit and miss, but kind of top of the market here, about around 11 to 8 at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, this is an example of something we discussed before we came on air, that we're right at the very end of the season. And you're going to find a lot of horses that have been on the go are going to be over the top or a little bit tired. And the ground's drying out all the time, isn't it, at Punchestown? So, we could be in for a surprise or two. But I think Jasmine DeVoe turned the corner at Cheltenham with that Grade 1 win in the Albert Bartlett. I know the form was let down by the big Westerner, who's run very poorly since, who was second that day. But I think there was something wrong with the big Westerner last time out. And really, you've just got 2 horses that stand out here, both Grade 1 winners last time. Jasmine DeVoe and Honesty Policy yet to prove itself at this trip. So if Jasmine DeVoe is able to run to the form of the Cheltenham win, I think it will be pretty hard to beat, although there's no doubt at all that Honesty Policy is improving. But will it stay? It's only once gone beyond 2 miles under rules. That was when it won at Aintree. But Jasmine DeVoe, I think, might be too good, although I'm not one normally to back favourites, but I wouldn't want to back against it.
Yeah, and I think it is true for a few of the other runners, Paul. When you look at their form, they're not quite proven over the trip. Even the likes of Familiar Dreams seems to kind of struggled when stepped up to 3 mile. I think that was at Aintree. So you kind of have to side with the known form here. But not a bad price, favourite, I would say. Like, quite reasonable. It's not horrendous. Probably
Around 11 to 8, something like.
yeah, I would comfortably favour Jasmine DeVoe in this one. We love a little bit of proven distance form. Following that one then, and I think that this is probably the race I'm most looking forward to, Paul, and that is the Punchestown Gold Cup. So in here, we are going at 5:30, and top of the market is Galopin de Champs. It's mad. It's such a small field, but still I'm most excited about it. Galopin de Champs, you've got Spillane's Tower, Banbridge and Monty's Star. The reason I'm excited, Paul, is because I'm just desperate to see Galopin de Champs come out and run well. But he hasn't managed it for the last couple of years, because when he's running this Punchestown Gold Cup, it's kind of come at the end of a long season, like we said, for a few of the horses here. And historically, he's been beaten. But now he's been beaten at Cheltenham, maybe he can reverse that form and maybe it's going to flip on its head. But another I'm really interested in is Banbridge. I don't know whether the ground is massively going to be in his favour, though. That is the only thing. But he's my King George winner, so I feel like I kind of always have a bit of a soft spot for him.
Well, I don't think the ground's going to be a huge problem for him, is it? Because I know he likes top of the ground, but it's yielding ground at the moment, and it's set to be sunny and warm, isn't it, the next few days? So I think they could be, close to good to yielding ground at worst, which will suit Banbridge a lot. Um, the point about Galopin de Champs is correct. Of course, he ran a very good race at Cheltenham. I think he was beaten by a horse who was absolutely on the top of his game and taken a huge step forward in I Know the Way You're Thinking. But the fact is that he's been beaten on his last two visits to Punchestown, one in November where he was beaten by Factor File, and then in this race last year where he was beaten by Fast or Slow when he was 2-1 on and he was rated £5 higher, better horse than he is this year. So you could argue that he's there for the taking. And I think Spillan's Tower, actually, Jimmy Mangan's horse, um, he goes well at the track. He won at the meeting last year, the Grade 1 Novice, beating Monty's Star, who's in again here. There wasn't a lot between them. Then he was only beaten half a length by Factor File over just 2 miles, 3 furlongs on his reappearance this season. And his only other run was in the King George that was won by Banbridge when I don't think the track suited him. He was also hampered very early on and never was able to recover. And I think he comes here a fresh horse
Mm.
as opposed to both Banbridge and Galopin de Champs, who had pretty hard races at Cheltenham. And because of that, I think that Spillan's Tower could well come out best. I'm sure we'll see Galopin de Champs going out there in front trying to burn them off. But I think Spillan's Tower might catch him on the run.
We will see, won't we? Quite an exciting race, though. It's going to be quite a tactical one, I think, kind of similar to what we saw in that Gold Cup. Not loads of runners, so tactics certainly going to come to the fore. And that is all we have time for day 2 of our Punchestown Festival. Don't forget to like and subscribe and stay tuned for day 3.